I'm in the hopiness problem with Charles Toe not able to get me takeout food from a restaurant without me telling him that I ran out of restaurant food and I have nothing to eat for tonight. He didn't leave yet, but I'm gonna make him leave in karma. And then in chokhmah, he'll never go. And that's what I've been eating is that he goes in karma, but in chokhmah, he'll never go. And he pulled my fork all the way out that way just by that he asked me for my phone number in the year 2001. And I gave it to him because he asked me for it, and I don't know why. I didn't ask him for his phone number. I don't have a phone number for that reason. It was a greeting and I didn't know him at the time I obtained the phone number. Obtained the phone number. Obtained because I'm a little bit wrong in the money. What's in the money mean? Father. In the money is when you share your money with somebody else. Oh. I'm king. All the money is my money. Now that we've cleared that up, thank you. That's Father being himself. I would like to mention Noah Ricken again. Noah Ricken is a person I met when he was in Homestead High School as a student in my United States history class. And I didn't know him before that class or in any other class. And I didn't know that he's not in my grade or he is in my grade. I was suspecting, or I was just under the understanding that there were sophomores and juniors in this class. And I thought that he's a sophomore in the class because I was a junior in the class and I didn't know him and I know who's in my grade. If he's in my grade, I didn't know that because I just didn't know that. I don't have another way to say this. I didn't understand that he's in my grade. I was under the understanding that he was a sophomore while I was a junior. It wasn't really an assumption. That is just what I believed at the time. So, what's an illegal alive SHUNT? Shunt. That is somebody who can just appear and then he gets a birthday after he does something wrong. Oh, so you mean Noah Ricken was in my class, but he didn't have a birthday and a grade? He wasn't in the class and a grade? Wow, I have to go to the principal's office and ask, what happens when you get a new student? Do you find out what grade they're in when they did something wrong? Should I assume everyone in my class is in the same grade? That's not true in Mr. Brown's class. There are students who are older than me in Mr. Brown's class. This United States history class teacher, I don't know her name. She's a female. I don't know. I don't know her name anymore. I guess I knew it at the time. Mr. Fugate's class, I have someone who's younger than myself, Sean McNally. I believe he's younger. Wow, but that's now I just don't want to assume anything. Oh, that's just what I believed at the time. You just illegally alive and you don't have an age and a grade in the high school. You just sort of look like you're about in high school. Yeah. What about Grease? Has anybody seen the movie Grease? Some of the students don't look quite like high school students. They're older, right? And one of them has an Australian English, accented English, which is Olivia Newton-John. Is she in high school? What? How old is she? And she's from Australia, and she's in America in a high school enrolled. And I can't figure this out because I also know Rena Adler. I'm going off topic here. She has an England accented English speaking, and she has an age that she's 14 years old, and she went to England all by herself on an airplane or from the airport, and she paid for it. How? Because she has somebody who paid for it for her. I'm sorry, I don't understand. People who I meet in my lifetime who try to tell me how old they are and what their birthday is or what grade they're in, and I'm supposed to know that about them, and I just don't know you. I'm sorry. You're illegally alive, shunt, and you're trying to claim time that you don't have in alive, and then you do something really confusing and evil, like which is try to continue on with banking when you're really a debt who's supposed to pay out banking. You cannot collect on the threatening because you want to be near Becky and make my life exhausted and funding. I don't owe the motions in alive. I'm doing motions because motions like work or education or what about sexual abuse? Those are other people's motions I wouldn't say yes to. Where you're loitering, and if I was still, you're loitering so hard on the sexual abuse. If I didn't get your anger problem over in a few minutes, I'd still be there right now, and I am deceased right here and waiting for the door locking to move. This is what you do with sexual abuse. You loiter. And you should never loiter and hurt me the way you did. You wouldn't loiter at a McDonald's. They would push you out the door and lock it behind your butt crack. Anywhere in the world, McDonald's internationally. You don't speak English when you loiter, and your sexual abuse obsession is exhausted. I will never be the same. You drove me out of this world, is true, but you accidentally died out of the possibility of ever being alive in myself again. What did you think was going to happen? That you would know who I am, that I would know who you are. You're not going to know who I am. You asked for me to completely strip your awareness of who you are to yourself after you hurt me the way you did, and I would never forget you. I'm making that possible is myself. But you are incredible, dangerous people. You don't actually leave that you have been threatened, that you're past the point of offending the place that made it possible for you to offend myself. That means you are put out and you continue to stay here and repeat offend more than the killing I was ever doing on myself. And I am not yourself, who is only going to suffer the same consequences of being stripped of your awareness of myself. And you're still here. You don't move out of the door locking, and that God is so big. You don't move out of the door locking of where? When God is as big as he is, making an airplane's world. Your undue pressure on your ridiculous sexual abuse of my clitoris is the size of a pea. And you put your finger on it over and over again because you can't find the door and get to the airport and fly anywhere you want internationally. You don't think you're something wrong with you. You don't think you're so extremely far in the wrong that you would do that to me. I will remember you. And you will be stripped of your awareness of myself, I said before. And I don't have another way to emphasize that you're that far in the wrong. I am not doing this to myself this far in the wrong. You were a long time ago. Goodbye. And you didn't leave with your obsession that you were alone in the wrong, and you're not alone. You're alone in the wrong is due to be alone. That's why you're in the wrong, so that you can go be alone with yourself. And the damages you are to yourself. You're not supposed to loiter over the threatening that you are loitering elsewhere for a few seconds in my life. You loitered a few seconds in my life. You caused sexual abuse disaster in my heart. You ruined my health. You ruined my eternal life and everything I think about you. For a few seconds of your time that you were loitering, that you were going to waste myself deceased. And you did it so far in the wrong after that. You wanted me to tell you no, but it's not no elsewheres. I don't even have the first greeting with you elsewheres is how you should have said no with yourself. I have no way to know who you are if you don't tell somebody you have a name. A sex offender who has a name? You belong in a prison, so when you announce yourself as a sex offender to a guard, they will whip out a gun and blow a bullet right into your head. They don't want to be a sex offender with a gun. That's how to answer your question. You don't ask me over and over again if we are married. You're not married if you're not myself, and you're not married if you're not in heaven. You're never married if you're alive in genitals. There is no